Hey Wisecrack, Fleshy Jared again, and today we're breaking down Season 3, Episode 9 of Rick and Morty, the ABCs of Beth. This episode is one of my favorites, not only because it develops Beth in some interesting ways, but because it builds on a theme from way back in another Season 3 favorite.
I'm Pickle Rick!
That idea, the importance of choice. Welcome to this Wisecrack quick take on the ABCs of Beth. First, a quick recap. The father of Beth's adolescent friend Tommy is about to be put to death for eating his son. Beth soon realizes her childhood fantasy of Frubyland was not some mechanism to cope with her friend's death, but a very real place built by Rick to keep her sociopathic tendencies out of his way. Also, Tommy has built a kingdom on incest and cannibalism.
I suppose you're wondering, how do I sustain myself?
Oh boy.
No, we aren't.
Meanwhile, Jerry has a new alien girlfriend Kiara, and things are moving fast.
Does your planet have shorter days? Because you guys are moving kind of fast, no?
Jerry decides to break up with her, but is unable to take responsibility for his decision and blames his kids. After Kiara tries to murder Morty and Summer for allegedly causing the breakup, Jerry finally owns up to his actions. In the ABCs of Beth, the A and B plots parallel each other. We have Beth, Jerry, and even Rick unwilling to take responsibility for their choices. Beth refuses to acknowledge sentencing Tommy to a life of humping Teletubbies.
Tommy, I'm sorry you think you deserve an apology.
And Rick denies building Frubyland to avoid being emotionally available to his daughter.
I'm sorry you think you deserve an apology.
Whereas Jerry refuses to take responsibility for ending his toxic relationship with Kiara. So what does all this have to do with Pickle Rick? Well, this.
And I think it's because the only truly unapproachable concept for you is that it's your mind within your control. You chose to come here, you chose to talk, to belittle my vocation, just as you chose to become a pickle. Each of us gets to choose.
As we've mentioned before, this season is playing a lot with the ideas of agency, freedom, and most importantly, choice, as Dr. Wong noted. In Rick Mancing the Stone, Morty is angry at his father for having no agency.
Stop standing in the driveway talking about custody! And either tell her you want to stay married or get on with your life, but whatever you do, stop being a baby and act like a man!
In Pickle Rick, Rick literally gives up his freedom by becoming a pickle, an elaborate ruse to avoid therapy. In the Ricklantis mix-up, we see what happens when Ricks give up their freedom. And of course, in the Whirly-Durly conspiracy, one of my favorite moments in the season is this advice to Jerry.
But there comes a time in every man's life when he must choose the foundation on which his legacy will be built. One of compromise, or one of blood.
In our Pickle Rick quick take, we talked about how some of the ideas represented there mirrored Jean-Paul Sartre's idea of bad faith. For a very quick refresher, bad faith is when we negate the radical freedom we are afforded in our ability to make choices. In a sense, we choose not to choose. After she realizes she's no different than Rick,
Oh my God, I'm my father.
Beth has an identity crisis.
Dad, I'm out of excuses to not be who I am. So, who am I? What do I do?
So how do two Sanchez's cursed with intelligence find meaning in an uncaring world?
Am I evil?
Worse, you're smart. When you know nothing matters, the universe is yours. And I've never met a universe that was into it.
Rick's conversation reflects on some of Sartre's points. For Sartre, the whole problem of our existence starts with the fact that there is no inherent meaning. And departing from Sartre a bit, any attempt to draw meaning from the universe will be met with cosmic indifference.
You know, smart people get a chance to climb on top, take reality for a ride, but it'll never stop trying to throw you. And eventually it will. There's no other way off.
For Rick, those smart enough get to take reality for a ride before they too are inevitably thrown off. Or in other words, they can indulge in whatever they desire, but when reality catches up with them, well, we've seen it before with Rick. Beth feels trapped by her family and her arguably ironic attachment to ABC's The Bachelor. She readily denies her own freedom and thus the choices available to her with the facts of her existence.
Can't do that. The kids, Jerry, my job, and as much as I hate to admit it, ABC's The Bachelor.
Rick's solution isn't to free her necessarily, but to give her a choice.
You can make a clone of you. A perfect instance of you with all your memories, an exact copy in every way. It'll love and provide for the kids, do your job, and consume broadcast network reality TV on the same allegedly ironic level as you. You could be gone a day, a week, or the rest of your life with zero consequences. The moment you decide to come back, I flip a switch, and the clone's job is done. It feels no pain, regrets nothing, and has zero chance of going Blade Runner.
The important thing here is Rick doesn't argue that she should do this, but says,
Then stay and luxuriate in a life you can finally know you've chosen. My secret bonus is that no matter what you choose, you're finally gonna chill the f out.
In other words, it's not whether she takes Rick up on the clone or not, but the fact that she makes a choice that matters. The prospect of the clone confronts Beth with her absolute freedom. And just by putting her in this crossroads, Rick is prompting her to choose her identity. So no matter what she chooses, the choice brings resolve to her identity crisis. So maybe Rick has learned something from Dr. Wong after all. We can split hairs on Reddit forums for hours on whether or not Beth decided to take Rick's offer, but it doesn't really matter. Whether or not Beth abandoned her family, it's the fact that she chose that will ultimately help her find meaning. So what about evil? Jerry claims he isn't evil, but just a coward. Meanwhile, Rick tells Beth she's not evil, just smart. But are we to believe Rick, or is this more intelligence used to justify sickness, to quote Dr. Wong? After all, Rick built a magical play place for his sociopathic child just to avoid dealing with her inherited problems. To hear us address these questions and more, check out our Rick and Morty podcast, The Squanch. We're breaking down every episode of this season of Rick and Morty, so click on the link in the description to get your squanch on. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.